Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my channel? Thank you so much. The woman reflected in the mirror suddenly appears alien to me. My hands grasp the rims of the sink, my fingertips numbed by the chill of the marble. It is now beyond midnight. David is attending another business meeting. It has been 34 days and 7 hours since he returned home that night, permeated with her fragrance, leaving the left side of our bed vacant. My quivering hands make contact with my lips. They remain whole and warm, although no one bestows a kiss upon them. Ethan's gaze abruptly penetrates my consciousness. David's golfing companion, aged 58, has still gray hair and a facial scar. Each gaze impacts me as though searing my flesh. Yesterday in the club, his hand inadvertently descended to my wrist as he extended it towards my arm. "Emma," he murmured my name as if it were a malediction. "You appear fatigued." "I am not fatigued, I am dying." I desired to scream, although the phrase I had between my teeth now dissolves on my tongue. Treachery? I descend to the living room. I go through David's jacket, hoping to find a lipstick smear or a strand of hair, but what I discover in his pocket is far more troubling. 2 tickets to Paris, single occupancy, accompanied by a note inscribed with Sophie. His 32-year-old secretary characterized by red hair and a perpetual grin. When did David last share a chuckle with me? My phone vibrates, a communication from Ethan. "I arrived to repair the water leak in your garden shed. David must have informed you a falsehood. David has neglected the existence of the garden. Nevertheless, my legs operate autonomously. My nightgown is sheer, precipitation is occurring." Ethan stands at the entrance, his damp muscles apparent through his drenched shirt, a Swiss Army knife in his grasp. "Emma," he states, his voice saturated by the rain. "May I enter?" The shed emits an odor of decayed wood and corroded nails. As Ethan stoops to inspect the pipe, his shirt adheres to his back. I observe the scar, a profound indentation from Afghanistan. Suddenly, I desire to trace it with my finger. "Is there pain involved?" I nearly inquire. "What is your purpose for being here?" Ethan exits my lips. He rotates his eyes, shimmering like a predator pursuing its quarry in the shadows. "You are aware of the reason." My heartbeat resonates like a silver bell in my ears. Raindrops rhythmically strike the roof of the shed. Ethan's hand grazes my cheek, his fingertips are ablaze. "I have always perceived David as a fool," he asserts, his breath warm against my neck. You are a masterpiece, Emma, neglected in an obscure museum." I ought to protest, flee, however, my legs disintegrate. My back is pressed against a corroded shelf. Ethan's lips brush across my ear. "You have neglected the experience of being revered. I would like to remind you." At that moment, the shed door emits a creaking sound. Prior to the continuation of this narrative, please remember to subscribe to my channel and activate notifications. Your encouragement through comments and likes is immense. David's voice resonates. "Outdoors, Emma, where are you located?" Lightning illuminates Ethan's eyes. He covers my mouth with his hand and forces me behind the shelves. "Remain silent." He snarls. David approaches. Ethan's heart beats forcefully against my chest. His other arm secures itself around my waist. I do not resist. David's fists strike the shed's corroded door with force. Ethan's breath intertwines with my hair, his fingers gripping my hip tightly. Maintain silence. Every cell within me cries out, yet my tongue remains immobilized. David's torch beam penetrates a fissure, illuminating the wild glimmer in Ethan's eyes. "Emma, what are you doing outside at this hour?" David's voice is piercing, yet it quivers. Is he contemplating his deceptions or regarding me? Ethan's palm is perspiring. He withdraws his lips and moves his hand to the nape of my neck, delineating the word silent with his index finger. Adrenaline dissipates like frost within my veins. A leak was present. I exclaimed, my voice harmonizing with the cadence of the rain. I was examining it. "I am experiencing coldness. I will enter now." Quietude. A whispered curse ensued. "The roof is also leaking. The technician is scheduled to arrive tomorrow." Footsteps recede, becoming ensnared in the mire. Ethan's torso crushes against my back, his heart racing frantically. What pertains to mine may rupture. David's voice ascends once more, albeit from afar. "I will seize the automobile. An urgent project exists with Sophie." Sophie, the name on the Paris tickets, dissolves on my tongue like caramelized sugar. When Ethan's lips graze that sensitive area on my neck, something within me fractures. I declare my departure while my body remains immobilized. Ethan's hands move from my shoulders to my hips. He rotates me. "You cannot depart," he asserts, brushing aside the hair clinging to my forehead. "Not at this time." The rain currently pelts the shed. He removes his drenched shirt and discards it. The scar from Afghanistan extends from his chest to his collarbone. My fingertips instinctively follow its contours. Was it painful? I am unable to inquire due to his lips pressing on mine. A shout, a protest, an apology, all submerged in this kiss as his hands clutch the lace of my nightgown with the potential to rend it. My thoughts drift to David organizing his suitcase for Paris solo occupancy. Ethan's fangs imprint on my neck, igniting the wrath within me. I do not resist. A voice murmurs, "Take what you desire. If he accepted it, you should accept it as well." Ethan positions me on the cold shelf. The metal is frigid, yet my skin sears. He states that this may be the most exquisite act of retribution he has ever witnessed. As he positions himself between my knees, he throws the Swiss Army knife upon the ground. I believe he will not utilize it, yet I sense that its blade could cleave my heart. David's automobile engine emits a powerful roar outside. Ethan's lips move toward the birthmark on my chest. He states, his breath searing my skin, a location David never observed. The engine sound diminishes. Ethan's hands are callous, yet his touch is excruciatingly gentle. I ought to resist, yet my body absorbs him as arid earth does water. I utter the words with difficulty as he constricts my wrists, indicating your lack of affection for me. He smiles, the scar elongates. Affection? No, he asserts, applying pressure to my hips with sufficient force to cause bruising. I revere you with your imperfections and fury. You are flawless, akin to a broken statue. A raindrop infiltrating the roof splashes upon my shoulder. Ethan's fingers traverse my inner thighs. My thoughts fragment. David's laughter, Sophie's auburn hair, and the shed's musty odor cease. I eventually articulate my voice, feeble as that of a child. Ethan becomes immobile. A fracture occurs in his gaze. He remains in anticipation. However, what is the rationale? David persisted. He departed for Paris while I remain here, drenched, quaking, and living. I apply pressure with my palms on Ethan's scar. Continue onward. At that instant, the solitary bulb in the shed extinguishes. The rain transforms into a storm. In the darkness, his breath, my moans, and the creaking shelves coalesce into a dirge of treachery. However, who is deceiving whom? Ethan's phone vibrates and illuminates a notification, an image of David and Sophie at Charles de Gaulle Airport, single occupancy tickets, and an additional luggage beside them. Emma's thinking momentarily freezes in panic. Ethan inclines forward to conceal the marks on his neck, murmuring, "I informed you he is a fool." Ethan's hands retain the impressions of my skin while he silently collects his garments. The illumination from his phone brightens the shed. David and Sophie possess suitcases along with an additional one. There appears there was not a singular route to Paris after all. Ethan smiles, although this time it is contorted with resentment. He states, draping his jacket over his shoulder, "The game he is engaging in with you is not quite as unscrupulous as mine." The precipitation has ceased. Moonlight filtering through the shed door illuminates Ethan's scar in silver. Prior to departing, he glances back. "If desired, you may incinerate anything." I comprehend his meaning, yet I refrain from responding. The residence is vacant. David's note rests on the table. During a brief stay, work became overwhelming. The sound of Sophie's laughter resonates in my ears. I recline against the kitchen counter. My hands quiver, but not due to rage this time, derived from power. As Ethan stated, a fractured statue still remaining upright. I ascend the stairs and retrieve the suitcase from the closet. My luggage is not one of the opulent ones David purchased for me, but the mended one I got from my mother. I carry several books, my passport, photographs, and her journal. As I peruse the pages, I arrive at the concluding paragraphs. "One day you will emerge from your ashes. My dear, you will ignite the fire independently." At daybreak, I return to the garden shed. Ethan's abandoned Swiss Army knife remains on the corroded floor. I conceal it in my pocket. I am closing our joint accounts at the bank. Counterfeiting David's signature is not difficult. Years ago, I composed his birthday cards in his script. Irony. My telephone rings. "Ethan." I do not respond. Upon returning home, I position myself in front of the mirror. The woman present is no longer a stranger. I trim my hair. The sound of scissors aligns with my heartbeat. The long curls cascade, revealing the markings Ethan imprinted on my neck. Not vengeance, I murmur to the woman in the reflection. Liberty. David reappears 2 days later. Upon his knock, my baggage remains in the hallway. His expression reflects perplexity, his hands grasping flowers, alabaster roses. Highly foreseeable. "Emma, what is occurring?" I express a smile and extend an invitation for him to enter. He stands in the living room, discarding his jacket marked with Sophie's fragrance, anticipating my forgiveness. David, he hesitates. What is it? What is the subject of your discussion? I hurl the Paris tickets at his visage and retrieve the photograph on my phone, namely the third suitcase. I regret that you perceived me as this foolish. His complexion becomes ashen. Pay attention, Emma, the suitcase does not belong to me. I interrupt him. I am indifferent now. I take my suitcase and depart. The knife from Ethan in the shed penetrates my palm. David calls out to me, to what destination are you proceeding? Return. I rotate. Sunlight permeates my cut hair. From my remnants at the terminal, I purchase a one-way ticket. Objective unidentified. A notification from Ethan appears. Did you incinerate it? I remember removing his number without responding. I access my mother's diary and incorporate my own line onto the final page. I ignited the fire, Mother. At present, I am experiencing combustion. I gaze out the train window as David's house diminishes in the distance. I extend the knife from my pocket towards the window. The blade reflects sunlight, complimentary, belonging to me. Sunlight streaming through the train window illuminates my defined jawline in gold. The frigid Swiss Army knife in my pocket resembles a covenant in my hand. I perceive footsteps in the corridor but refrain from turning my head until a voice starts reciting passages from my mother's diary. I ignited the fire, Mother. Currently, I am experiencing intense discomfort. I observe gradually. The individual positioned in the corridor is attired in a black trench coat. His wrist tattoo is discernible beneath the sleeve. The volume he holds is CF's Metamorphosis. His hair gets tousled by the wind. A familiar glimmer is evident in his eyes, the brilliance of disorientation. Apologies, he states, his voice blending with the clatter of train wheels. That line appears to have been composed specifically for me. His fingertip grazes the tattoo on his wrist ignites first. Embrace your remnants. I do not smile, but I indicate the seat. He is seated, his aroma of salt, tobacco, and old Easter leaves obliterates the meadow I inhaled in the shed, as though he had appropriated my mother's words and restored them to my essence. I am Elias, he states, without even acknowledging the marks on my nape. No specific destination, merely a desire to continue progressing. I shut my mother's diary and extend my hand towards his tattooed wrist. The ink has diminished. Did it cause pain? I inquire. He examines my hair, short and disheveled by the wind. He responds with only the initial stitch. The train enters a tunnel in the darkness. My hand rests upon his tattoo. He refrains from inquiring. I do not provide explanations. Upon our sunlight, we connect the shoulders of two strangers as our ashes disperse in the same breeze. We observe the tracks extend into eternity. Perhaps new beginnings manifest as the words articulated by an unfamiliar individual. Alternatively, the second spark cast into the flames the cry of quiet. If you have reached this point, I am aware that my narrative has profoundly affected you. There is far more to convey. You will not want to overlook anything. Remember to follow, activate notifications, and provide a comment regarding this narrative.